Hi everyone, welcome to the British English Hub. I'm Paul. Today I'm going to talk to you about the present simple and present continuous. Now this you could assume would be for beginners or elementary level students, but many higher level students get this wrong. So it's really important to watch this, and if you're one of those high level students, watch it just to refresh your memory. It's always a good idea. Don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe to this channel. We're a growing channel. Please stick a like down below. Just give it a like and that's it. And also, if you have to write a comment, we are always delighted to read feedback from students. It gives us really the incentive to improve these videos, make them better. You can make suggestions. You can give constructive feedback. It's all going to be taken on board. Thank you. Please do that. So first of all, present simple against present continuous. This is obviously a really important tense. It's often used in English, really often, as we're going to see. There are many different cases we can use it. So we're going to explore those cases. First of all, I'm going to look at present simple. This is the first one, and then we're going to move on to present continuous, and then we're going to mix them up. And I've got some quizzes at the end for you to do. Great stuff, okay? So firstly, here's the form. We talk about form, meaning and pronunciation. We're going to cater for all three, okay? So firstly, subject, which is like either I, you, they, the person, Peter, teachers, for example. That's all considered to be the subject because the subject always goes at the beginning of a sentence. The base verb, add s or es for he, she, or it. Remember, third person singular always has s or es. Here's some examples down below. I work, he works. They go, she goes, es. They leave, it leaves. Again, es. I play, she plays. Now, the negative form is down below. We're going to look at some negatives as well in this particular video. He doesn't drink coffee. I do, but this person obviously doesn't. People don't often go to restaurants in the morning. Me neither. But occasionally some people go to a restaurant to have breakfast, and we have a fantastic breakfast in the UK called a fry up, and many people go into a restaurant or cafe to enjoy a fry up, really. So that's the form in terms of positives and negatives. We're going to look at the present simple rules to begin with. Habits and routines, it can be used with what we call an adverb of frequency, which is highlighted in green down below. The adverb of frequency, we all know that what that is. It measures how often somebody does something. So habits and routines, I go to school every day. Every day it's a habit. It's a ritual. Okay, it can sometimes with these routines they can be short-lived. They can be over a longer span of time. So it's really subjective, really. You know. So she drinks coffee in the morning. We assume most mornings. Sometimes maybe not every single morning, but most mornings. So we can still use the present simple. Max rarely chats with my colleagues. Okay, he's a bit shy. I sometimes cook late in the afternoon, which I cook at 4 o'clock. I don't like having lunch too early, and I often eat something very light in the evenings. Depends on the individual, naturally. Many people often enjoy a football match, including myself. Big Arsenal fan, Barnet fan as well. Two teams I follow, so you know I love to watch football and sometimes go and see Barnet play, which is a very lower league team in the UK in North London. A lot of teachers usually don't like teaching classes in the evening, including myself. Sometimes it can be very tiring teaching in the evenings, but you know, it usually doesn't apply to everyone. You know, the grand majority, around about 60%, 70% maybe, more or less. General truths or facts here are a little bit sort of over a longer period of time, but some of which are permanent. So water boils at 100 degrees, we can safely say that, and that's going to continue to do so for forever. So dawn rises in the east. I doubt it will ever rise in the west. So it's pretty established, that fact. They produce excellent wine in Chile. Again, That's over a long period of time. Maybe one day they will stop producing excellent wine, but we assume it's not going to happen. So, and Peter Sampras is an ex-tennis player and champion. If we were to say Peter Sampras was an ex-tennis player, we would assume he's dead. So he's still alive, he's still playing. He might be retired, but he's still playing, so we can safely use is. Okay, so permanent situations. Now, rather than having something that is permanent, constantly a fact, these are sort of longer actions that might possibly change in the future. We don't know. They live in London, so that could possibly change. They might move to another city, but we can safely use that use the present simple, because we can assume it's over a long period of time. It will continue to be over a long period of time. Simon owns a small restaurant. Again, that's pretty permanent, but things might change. You don't know. We can safely say that is a permanent situation. Mary lives with her parents. It should be not his parents, her parents. Excuse my typo. So, or Mary could be a guy's name. We don't know. Maybe in some places Mary is a guy's name, but in most places obviously not. My sister speaks 3 languages. That won't change. She learnt the 3 languages. The assumption is she will continue to know those languages unless she forgets and doesn't practice. We know that can happen in reality. The road connects 2 villages. Unless there's major reconstruction, that will continue to do so in the foreseeable future, in the long-term future. Many people in London don't have a lot of money. Again, another permanent situation. That will always be the case, but maybe the amount of people without money might reduce at some point, but we can still consider that to be a fact. Permanent situations, schedules and timetables. Again, we all in a position where we have to take a train or a bus or a plane at some point, so we can use the present simple for that. Trains leave at 6 p.m. My flight arrives at 8 a.m. The bus stops in Birmingham for half an hour. The coach doesn't depart until 6 p.m. Doesn't depart until 6 p.m. We use doesn't depart and then until, the correct sentence. So again, schedules and timetables. We use present simple. Emotions. This is a good one with auxiliary verb and gerund. Gerund is a verb plus ing. Watch my earlier videos. I explain what gerunds are. So I'm going to go through this one. I like to play or playing tennis. You can say both the infinitive or the gerund. I like to play tennis. I like playing tennis. The most natural one is I like playing tennis. We tend to use the gerund. Sarah enjoys learning English. Enjoys not to learn English, enjoys learning English. We use the gerund. It depends on the auxiliary verb if we use a gerund or an infinitive in English language. Many admire Liverpool's players, Liverpool Football Club. Again, we won't say many are admiring, that's incorrect. Many admire, because it's an emotional word. Most people hate liver. It's got a horrible taste. I'm not a great fan of liver as a meat, as red meat. I tend to avoid it. And he loves playing video games. We don't say he is loving. We never say that he loves. And some people don't enjoy watching football. Again, I'm not included because I do love watching football, as I've already mentioned. Okay, so here we go. Present continuous. Now we've got to the present continuous. Hopefully, if there's any questions, please drop them down in the chat and I will respond to them. If there's any doubts. Okay, so we got another form of verb, another form of structure or form. Subject plus am, is, or are. That's the verb to be, plus verb ing, which is what is it called? A gerund. Well done. Contraction, I am, I'm. Now, I've talked about contractions before. Contractions are really, really common, and it makes our language a little bit more natural. Try to use the contraction, okay? Unless it's really formalized language. There are exceptions to the rule, but in most cases, 95% of cases in spoken language, we use the contraction. So I'm going to use the contraction in these examples. I'm working. They're working. He's typing a letter. Peter's doing his homework. The people are partying on the streets. So this is what we call a positive sentence in present continuous. We'll talk about the meaning in a bit. I was just talking about the form now. Okay, and again we've got some negatives here. Now there's something I really want to point out about negatives. I'm not working, you're not working. Now when we get to third person singular, there's two ways we can say it. The teacher isn't working, or John's not working. So we can use isn't working or apostrophe S, not working. Both are correct. You can use one or the other. The most natural way we say in the UK, we tend to use not more often than isn't. So we mostly say John's not working. We wouldn't say John isn't working. We tend to say John's not working. It seems to be a little bit more common. I think because it rolls off the tongue a little bit better. Same thing with first person plural. We're not playing, we aren't playing. We tend to say we're not playing. Again, it rolls off the tongue a little bit better, even though both are correct. Third person plural, they're not doing, they ain't doing. I think it's easier to say they're not doing rather they ain't. A lot of students have a problem with the word ain't. They say aren't, ain't. It's a difficult word to pronounce. You can use it aren't or ain't. You can use both pronunciations. They ain't doing, they aren't doing. Both are correct. Aren't is similar to my aunt. Think about my aunt. They aren't doing. We don't pronounce the R. We don't say aren't. Please do not say aren't. That is incorrect. That sounds very, very foreign. So try to keep it as natural as you possibly can. Here we go. We use the present continuous to talk about actions happening right now, at this moment in time. I'm reading a book. I'm shooting a video right now. I'm sat at my desk and I'm shooting a video. I'm reading a book right now. There you go. I'm reading a book. She isn't cooking at the moment. What is she doing instead? She's not cooking, so she must be doing something else. Maybe she's sleeping. They're watching a movie. The children are playing in the yard. Wow, I can't hear anything. They must have stopped to me. Maybe they're still doing it. I don't know. We're having lunch at this instance, so I can't talk. So I'm having my lunch right now. Okay. My phone's not ringing. Negative. It must be your imagination. So it must have come from my mind. I must be imagining these sounds. Now notice I've said she isn't cooking, my phone's not ringing. Both of these are correct. Interchangeable, by the way. I used both examples just to show you how it looks in a sentence. Okay, the person in the painting is wearing dark trousers and a white shirt. Now, the last one's an interesting one because when we look at paintings, we tend to use the continuous form. The person in the painting is wearing. We don't say the person in the painting wears, is wearing, because we're looking at it. We think of the moment we're looking at it. So we use the present continuous when we refer to, or when we describe art or pictures. So I thought I would include that one there with the selection of sentences below. Okay, here we go. We use the present continuous to talk about temporary situations. I'm staying with my friend this week, so after this week I'm going to move somewhere else, or I might even move into my own place. John's working at a private school this month. It's only a temp job, so again, it's a temporary situation. I'm dating a really nice girl. Maybe that will finish. Maybe that won't last. It's something that is temporary. He's driving his dad's car while his own car is being repaired. Again, there you go, temporary situation. One of my students is using my laptop this week because theirs broke. So he's borrowing my laptop. He's using my laptop at the moment. Oh, he's just using my laptop. He'll obviously give it back to me at the end of the week. It's a temporary situation. One of my students, I'm repeating the same sentence. I'm helping at my uncle's shop for a few days. I'm helping at my uncle's shop for a few days. Ain't gonna last very long. It's just helping your poor uncle out. He's obviously overwhelmed. he's got too much to do, so you're lending him a hand, which is really good of you. She isn't taking Spanish classes this summer, so she's decided not to take her Spanish classes this summer. Obviously, she's got other plans. There you go. All temporary situations. So we use also present continuous, changing or developing situations. So the days are getting shorter as winter approaches. So changing or developing situation. My brother isn't growing so fast. He's still a little bit below the average height. I'm a little bit concerned. Technology is advancing every year. We know that exponentially it's getting faster and faster and faster and faster. The economy is not improving. Not in the UK it isn't. It's sinking at the moment. So there's very few jobs around. So there's more YouTubers like me that are sprouting out from nowhere. Her English is getting much more fluent, and it will continue to do so. It's changing and developing, okay, as we speak. So we use the present continuous in that instance. And we use the present continuous also to talk about near future plans. And if you referred back to one of my previous videos, I talk about that in more detail, but here's some examples down below. We're meeting them tomorrow, so we're referring to tomorrow. I'm seeing a good friend this evening. Jack's going to the cinema on Friday. They're seeing their parents this weekend. She isn't flying to Paris next week. She's obviously changed her mind, and we're not travelling to Italy this summer. Again, I can use one or the other. As I said, we're not travelling tends to be the more natural way of saying present continuous. These are near future plans, If we talk about more distant future plans, then we slightly change. You can refer back to one of my videos earlier to look at how we can express future plans using I'm going to go or I'm going to see. So I'm going to plus infinitive, but that's in another video. Okay, down to you now to do a little bit of a gap fill. All of these consist of negatives. They consist of present continuous and present simple. You've got to do this, fill in the gaps, good old fashioned gap fill. It's look at some of the indicators, the time references as well are a clue. So on what tense we use. So have a go at it and pause this video, do it, and then you can basically run the video, continue the video, and here are the answers. And there you go. Check your work with the answers here to see how many you've got right. And that concludes my session. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to be posting another video tomorrow and the day after, and please remember, subscribe and like, and I will see you next time. Have a fantastic day. Take care. Bye bye.